What's up? Welcome in, guys. How we doing today? What a surprise! 0.8 is now public. So that's what we're doing, this bonus surprise impromptu stream. Kind of wasn't expecting to do it. I got home and I was like, what is all the hubbub? And guess what? It's 0.8. Welcome in. VOX here first. How you doing, V? Say la V. Kisu13, welcome. Sand Zeus, how you doing? Garnican, welcome in. Dr. Metaverso, hi there. Nicholas Mage, Mr. Mage. Ross Guru, what's happening? Roxy Miguel, today is a good day for sure. Lula Love9, welcome in. King of Crypto, how you doing?
Lula Love9 says
no way! Yes way. What's the name of the intro track? That is Big Mac Whopper. Let's listen to it again, shall we? It is a good song. It is my theme song. If you guys want to play it, it's actually royalty free. Anybody can play it. Fox Machina Studios! What's happening, dude? Mr. Machina. Here, I'll drop the link to it. The house. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Woo! Welcome, guys. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the 0.8. I have done some fun things in it, although I feel like you all are going to be asking me questions that, as in like more advanced things of 0.8. I think the most advanced stuff you can really do is VFX, atmosphere. Unfortunately, sound effects are not available yet. What else is there? So we're gonna take a look. But I think the biggest takeaway here is the VFX. The amount of things you can do with it is insane. So I've been tinkering with those a lot. And we're going to be, exploring what we can do. What else can we do? Well, one thing to keep in mind, especially in 0.8, is they have separated the single player and multiplayer synchronized, functionality. So like behaviors, components. This is very important, especially making your game. You want to think about it ahead of time. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Welcome in, everybody. How's it going? Escape from Artist, welcome. PG, how you doing? Can you do snow already? You should be able to fake snow. I think that's in one of the VFX. Drakusha, how you doing? We can, I think that'll be the first thing we try to find. Escape from Artist and PG. Try and make snow happen. 2 questions lingering. What's the difference between light and post-processing effects? Yeah, let's take a look. I mean, light is, pretty self-explanatory. You have your directional and your point lights. and we'll, explore the two. One thing that I am excited to do on the stream is I have updated my space game, Star Runner. And so inside of Star Runner, I'm going to use water to simulate space. Miss Hillary, Halfd0rk, how you doing? Escaper Artist, you were playing with snow. Okay, cool. Alright, so the question was post-processing. So that's going to be one of our behaviors. 24K, what up, dude? How it do? We have the visual VFX, and then I'll make another one for post-processing, and we'll take a look at the differences. Both of which seem to be in the synchronized tab. So it's worth mentioning, if you have a multiplayer, so it has a yellow text there, you can't have anything from the single player tab. You just have to always keep that in mind. And whatever game you're playing, or making, I should say, if it's a social hub, always, always, always make sure you're in the yellow tagged items. That just goes without saying. See Panteria, welcome. Pirateering! No worries, Kay, do your thing. Carachos, welcome. Jazzwolf, good evening. Yeah, I'm just exploring this with you all. I have had a lot of experience with 0.8, just tinkering around with it. Most of the work I've been doing for Alex hasn't been to experiment. I'll just say that much. Like, I'm building a game for him. That doesn't mean I get to just play with the tools. So, right now, we get to play with the tools. But yes, I've already explored a lot of these things. On my own time, of course. So, we can see here in the post-processing effects, we can play with different styles. So, psychedelic is one that, it's kind of memed as what Snoop Dogg is going to put in all of his experiences. Basically makes you look like you're high. Vintage, that's going to be like a retro film. Black and white, a noir film. Grunge, that's going to be like your 80s rock band. But custom, we can take a look at all of these different settings here. And maybe we can play around with that. So what I did here is I've set up a little stage. And we're going to be setting up some interactive assets that are going to turn on visual effects and post-processing effects. Blue Tulip, good evening. Surprise. It was a surprise. I honestly did not think 0.8 was going to be public for like a month or more. But this is a good surprise. Like, I think getting this in everybody's hands is only going to make really cool things for the community. There's actually a ton of games that people have been testing, beta. If you just go through the drafts gallery, once you're inside, 0.8. So you guys have games that you can play. I have noticed that if you hit the home button, it crashes Game Maker. So that's worth mentioning. If you try to leave, you're just going to have to Alt F4. Alright, so what we're doing is we're going to make some buttons that activate effects. And that way we can have a little bit more control over what we're doing. So I just have some buttons I made in VoxEdit a while back. And we've got 1 through 4 here. I'll just line them up with my garden. Do 1, 2, a tree, and a 4. And then because OCD, I have to make sure they're symmetrical. There you go, perfect. Anyway. Alright, so we'll go ahead and add some messages real quick. My cat is being very needy. He wants to say hi. Nope, she's just hungry. There's a difference. We're going to put single player on these. This is fine. I'm never going to publish this experience. But again, single player, you're going to want to make sure all of your assets use that. Feels like a spoiler? No, V, we're just testing things out. But I know V also likes to make games, so it goes without saying she wants to discover for herself. Full cuts of cheese, what up? Yeah, searchable helps a lot too, Escape Room Artist. Jazzwolf, I do want to make tutorials. So this will help push me in that direction now that it's public. Alright, so the big thing that I've noticed with Speaker is they've added a lot of extra jargon that you're probably not going to use. So broadcast duration, for example, broadcast type, you now have to target certain things, I've noticed, depending on what type you're using. So for example, you can send it to everything, or you can just send it to specific tags. These are very niche uses that you probably will not be using. So for now, we're not going to worry about them. Each one of my little signs here is going to be an interaction message, and we're going to be turning off a few things that are defaulted, such as look at target. So these signs, it'd be really creepy for me to enter the game and they're just going to constantly look at me when I get close to them. So I'm going to turn all that off. I literally had to shut my door because my cat sits there and like stares. Cats are weird. Anyway, we're gonna turn off the look at target. We don't need the rotation duration. And each one of these is going to have an interact message that we're going to set up right now. So you can see this is just going to say interact. We're going to do wait for message. And when I interact with it, so I, T, just the default interaction, we're sending out interact 1. Great, this looks good. We'll have a display duration of 12, so that means it's going to have the speech bubble above it for 12 seconds. And then finally, it sends it to all things one time. So we're just going to repeat that for each one of these. Turning that off. No rotation. This one will be interact 2. It's going to ask us to interact. So this is the big difference here, is normal interact used to be like default on a speaker. Now you have to add it yourself manually. Yeah, Dr. Metaverso, it is not my usual stream time. Not watch another review. I'm sorry, B. B, you should stream it. You're FOMO'd. No, I understand that, for sure. Box, I'm saving for you, buddy. So, interact 12, turned off the look at target, because that was on by default. And wait for message, interact, message being sent, interact 2. I'm just setting up 4 signs real quick before we get started. Hey, Space Bambo, what's up? Welcome in. Do 0 seconds. We're just changing all of these default settings. So when we interact, we're sending out interact 3. That one looks good. And then finally interact 4. So we're going to have 4 different settings to play with as we, tinker with everything. And if anybody wants me to demonstrate things, that is totally, up to you all. Like, I am happy to explore things. Like, PG asked us to explore snow. So that'll be something we set up. See if we can make it work. And work in a way we want it to. That'll fit our games. This one's saying interact 4 for me. Cool. So now we're going to be setting up the VFX. That will be kind of separate from our signs. So the signs here allow me to edit, a message to then associate with different effects, and I can turn off effects as I work through them and, push them to the side, like save them for later. That's just how I like to work. That's all. All right, so this is the post-processing. So we're going to set that one to the side. The first thing we'll look at is snow. See if we can find it. Welcome in. Hey, Jensen, thank you for the follow. Paul's here. What's up, Paul? Fred, I bet you're excited. Welcome in, Fred. New lamps again. Yes, V. Quit hating. Start appreciating. It's different. Alright, so first thing I'll do is I'll probably change the ambiance, which we can change in-game relatively easily now. We'll go to night, so maybe we can see the snow a little bit better. And now we're going to use the messages I have and enable it on and off. So we'll use interact.1. We can even preview the snow here. And you can see it already has like a pretty good like coverage of our land. But we can totally just add to it. It doesn't appear as though we can make it cover the land itself. We can offset it at least. But that's just going to cause the snow to spawn elsewhere. And it doesn't even look like the offset's working. Maybe in game it will. So in game the offset works. The preview does not affect the offset. So that's important to note. We can go back into the logic, and here is the scale. So now we can do the area scale. And we'll add... Oh yeah, this is the fun part. I wouldn't go above 100 in any of these, but you can. I've actually crashed Game Maker by going over 100. So this is covering our entire land if we do 100, 100, 100. So now we can see the snow, and that is like a natural snow. So let's try it in game. So it appears as though it was condensed beforehand, and now our snow is using that same particle effect that was condensed and expanded it. So let's see if we can make it more dense. That also covers the entire area. The add dropdown. Yeah, this here, we have our scale, we have our spawn, we have wind direction, we have particles, we have color, and we have lifetime. So all of these effects are going to change from every visual effect. This is probably the biggest update like of 0.8, and that's why we're exploring it today, because there are a lot of things to do with this behavior. This singular behavior, I would say, is like 50% of 0.8. Is like, this is where the cream of the crop, this is the good games. Also lights, also swimming, also crouching, also sliding, also proning, also post-processing. There's a lot of good stuff. Have a good stream. Thanks, VBox. Damage and heal messages aren't working. Or you think it's a bug, says Nicholas Mage. Damage and heal. So that is something I actually haven't tried. So we'll take a look at those too. I do want to see if we can densify our snow here. So we'll add a spawn rate. We'll put that at 100. It looks like that's how we were able to make it denser. So a lot of these effects, you know, you'll be seeing me experiment with them right now. I can't say I've tried all of them, but I have at least explored, you know, most of them and understood, like, the nuances, I suppose. Shooting yet? Mr. Grieve, not yet, but you can fake it. There are several games, such as Tempest Studios, Monochrome, and their zombie shooting game, that have done a good job of doing so. Not something I can really recreate at this time, though. But there, long story short, there are workarounds. It's coming soon. Alright, what else can we do? We can change the wind direction speed. So again, we don't want to go above 100 in any of these. Each of these three numbers is your XYZ, much like the offset here. So we can also have the scale of the particles, so we can have giant boulders instead of snow. Let's see what that looks like. Make it rain boulders! Looks like I'll have to go in-game to try it. Ooh, it might be broken. I don't see nothing. Alright, well, maybe disable that one, see if it previews again. It could also be the wind direction might have broken. Okay. It seems to be, like, fading out. Let's see if it kept that same area scale from when we first set it up. It doesn't seem to be doing any of it. So some of these settings likely won't be working. So if I remove it, it should go back to how we had it before. Which, yeah, it works fine now. It's looping as intended. So it seems like the wind wasn't working as well as we wanted to. I have this quest that keeps popping up. I'll turn it off for now. Lighting's very cool, yeah. Dr. Metaverso, I assume you can't turn off the lights. You can, Dr. Metaverso. So let's take a look. Which, by the way, I always recommend individuals make their own logic assets. But now in 0.8, you can actually add, lights and logic assets literally made to do just that. You will never see these inside the Game Maker. I've tried to make them visible. Unfortunately, they will never be visible to a player more than once. I have entered play mode, exited play mode, and then re-entered, and they disappeared again. But I was able to make them visible through, cheating. So, I presetted them as, visible using toggles and stuff. Anyway, I digress. There are assets that have lights on them. And to answer your question, you can turn them on and off. So there are messages to turn them on and off. Toggle behaviors were working. However, there's not really a need for a toggle behavior when you can just use on-off messages. You might have a use for that. And everything else works on these logic assets. But you can see here, toggle on and off is a setting. So we can actually attach that as we're working to our 3 and 4. So we'll do interact.3 and interact.4. And we'll turn it on and off in game. No big deal. One thing I'll do is I'll change the display duration here. So that way I can spam these buttons. Looks more like rain than snow. Hey, that's a great use for it, PG. Can they be presets? Lights can be presets, yes. Pretty much anything can be a preset. One thing I've discovered in 0.8 is you do not, at this time, want to use parents in your presets and expect them to work how they did in the past. Parents were actually, more often than not consistent. They were just unable to maintain that. For example, I often used a parent that had a plant behavior that would destroy, based on a message, and that would destroy all the children. That wasn't working. So, destroying the parent caused the children to just remain. And so, things like those and parenting in general were not working, but we can test that. Oh man, do I even have my plant lamp on this account? Nope.
Ready to work.
Yo, drop of the bits. Thanks, Kay. Okay, so let's try that real quick. I'm going to have a preset set up that has a health component with 2 different settings here. And this is why we made these 4 buttons, is because we can try multiple things at the same time. Might be confusing for you, but I'll try and talk my way through it. So first thing we'll do is we'll parent these together. So we'll do parent, and I'll add a symbol in the front. If I add a symbol, it makes it easier to find in the hierarchy. So for example, this will be #child. I don't think that hashtag is going to go viral. But now if I search hashtag, I can easily parent these together. Now we're going to edit the parent. The parent itself will spawn on interact.1, so we're going to use interact.2 to kill it as a plant. And then we're also going to use interact.3 to potentially kill it as a health component. And our lamp here, it doesn't need to do anything. However, let's go ahead and add our light. And our light we saw is initially on, and it turns off on 4. So we'll keep those settings. But we can do hashtag light. And now I'm going to parent our light to the child. So now we have a 3-tier parent-child structure. So we'll see how that works. Hey, with the raid! Thanks, my dude. If you guys didn't know, I'm making a game with O24K. He is the voxel master. Lex dropping the sub. Thank you very much.
Woo! We can see Panteria! Oh!
That's so loud.
Saucin'! Wow!
Oh my god, that scared me.
Bro, you ain't got a sauce like that. Hi, on the mobile. On the mobile in chat, if you look on the top right, you'll see...
Be thriving. Let's go. But yeah, thank you so much, Lex. I owe you a coin. Which, by the way, I wanted to do a giveaway. Do you guys like giveaways? Just curious. Anyway, let's go ahead and preset this. So this is going to be the first preset on this practice map. We'll do parent child lamp. Parent child lamp. That's memorable. Cool. Then finally, we're going to have an asset spawner. That will...
You're all free now!
We're not free now, though. No, I hate them. This time, Dr. Metaverse, so I'll rig it in your favor. Space Bamboo likes it. Who doesn't? Exactly. Free stuff. But let me set this last thing up. Our asset spawner here is going to spawn that new preset we made, the parent-child lamp. And it's going to spawn it on interact 1. So interact.1. So now, when I touch that sign, it's going to spawn our lamp. That will be destroyed as a plant on interact 2. It'll be destroyed as a health on interact 3. And then our interact 4 turns the light off. So let's see if it works. You know, fingers crossed. I hope it does. So the lamp works. That's a good sign. And now I'm going to destroy it as a health component. Hey, everything went with it. That's actually a great thing. Okay, so we spawned it again. Let me try the plant. Plant also worked. Alright, we're back in business. So what if I destroy this? So one of the first things I asked when I popped into Alex's, you know, recap was what might have been the differences from like our private like beta-ish version to this public release. And they definitely fixed a few things. One of the main things they fixed was animations on weapons. So for example, Giant Slayer was not moving at all on the version I was literally using like yesterday. So they've changed a few things in that short amount of time. But anyway, I am happy to announce parents are working as intended. Cool. Now we can do that giveaway. Yeah, the giveaway code is going to be up on screen. You'll never guess what it is. Never guess. It's very well hidden somewhere on the screen here. I don't know. You guys see any moving numbers on the screen? Ooh. Just checking. Yep, everybody. Feel free to type that secret code word in, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Hey, Laren Soul. Carotros, don't do it. Carotros, you know what you're doing. Yeah, PG, they'll probably fix more things.
0.8.
0.8. Carotros, new release doesn't work for you. I'm sorry. I don't know how to troubleshoot hardware stuff. This is all software that I'm doing today. Will you pop into Eon? Yeah, okay, I'll probably after testing, a bunch of stuff. I also have my space game that I immediately, when I got home, turned on the swimming. And, yeah, I'm swimming around in my space game. So I'll be sure to show you all that. Great. So, we just tried parents. Parents' children are working as intended. That is a great sign. Again, if you pop into 0.8, use these logic assets. They are intended for logic because they are automatically hidden from the character's vision. I can even toggle it like this. And while I can see it, you'll notice that it kind of like automatically untoggles its visibility. And so, as much as I would love to use those round, assets, it seems as though they're hard-coded to never be shown to the player. So basically, the second I save and export this experience, those will disappear. We can, see them in edit mode, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, very cool stuff. Let's go back to our snow. I liked our snow idea here. We did area scale. I'm going to change the color of it. We're going to make it look like rain. So this should be RGB. And I think we can go up to 256. Spawn rate. Snow? Well, now the snow's not working. Let's try adding more color. This could be like a up to 100 number too. Seems to be working. The preview was working at least. I think some of these settings are not intended to work with one another. So I'm going to set up another one on Interact 2. Another one. And I'm going to remove some of these. And we'll change some of these settings. Okay. That is a cluster. And all I did was keep the color. Interesting. Okay, so there's the blue. But like that is going to give someone cancer across the world, which is pretty much what the metaverse is for, I suppose. Yeah, that's the visual VFX. Yeah, very cool. So, yeah, this is where I think a lot of the new style points are going to come from in new games. So it seems as though the scale didn't get reset. So I'm curious as to why. Because we did remove the scale when we duplicated it over. So we're going to do 1, 1, 1. And that changed it. So the color seems to be adjusted by this VFX attribute, which says color. That looks cool. I'm not quite sure where that, glitchy scale was coming from. I think all the colors were like merging together, which I suppose makes sense. So if we go back to 100 on the blue... Nope, that's red. That looks cool. That might be a good, like, I don't know, evil dungeon. Maybe you can have, like, sparks rain for a quick moment. Here's blue again. Got a nice green. So this is RGB. So that means the third one should be blue. Okay. So right now it's 2 blue. Let's try 50. How does 50 look? 50 is still pretty bright. What about 20? And then we can put this at 10 maybe? that seems to give it like a glow. So that last, the fourth number, which I assumed was the alpha, seems to be making like it burst. So we'll put that at 0. And then we'll actually give it a little bit of green, and that should lighten up the blue. The preview, I've noticed, can get a little bit buggy. I'm also clicking a lot of buttons at the same time. Right now it's not even working. So we're going to turn those off. Try the preview again. Seems like we might need 1. Yeah, we need minimum 1 in the alpha channel, it seems. That makes sense. Okay, so let's reduce the green. We'll go for like 4. And it auto changes, by the way. So it looks like we don't have to preview stop. Let's try adding maybe the lifetime effect. See what that does. So maybe this means it'll only last 10 seconds. We'll only be able to find out in game.
Ready to work.
Yo, Pitchalonvu, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Very cool. So what each number means, I believe, PG, it's RGBA. So red, green, blue, alpha. That's like the common, you know, internet web HTML. Lifetime, I'm not quite sure what this means. So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. So we have a setting called lifetime. Let's try 1. I mean, it's not stopping.
Ready to work.
Sandbox game. Welcome in, everybody. Alex, thank you so much for streaming.
No powder like a pound of pulse pie, like a pound of pulse pie.
Woohoo! We're dropping the duntadas. So, everyone, we're going to be doing a giveaway, but guess what? I just finished this one. And Space Bamboo won. We're going to do one more. Welcome in, Raiders. New keyword is going to be sandbox. If you guys want to be entered into the giveaway, type in sandbox in the chat because we are hype. This is a pretty good day for game makers. I highly recommend all of you jump in, give it a try. 0.8 is going to change the game. Literally. No puns intended. This is the best day for game makers. Amen to that. King Crypto is making a SamFam based experience, and this is going to take it to the next level. I know all of you game makers out there have ideas churning, and I can't wait to see what you put out. The drafts gallery is already, open. I'm not going to exit this mode that we're currently working on. It will crash. I've tried. But if you download 0.8 right now, you can play some of the games people have been making over the last few weeks. Some of the other beta testers.
One word to describe me right now: overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Well, Mr. Overwhelmed. Me, by the way, I'm Halfd0rk, so welcome to my stream. I generally stream in the mornings, Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to catch me live, I'm usually 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. But today, we're going to be exploring Game Maker for the next hour and a half, 90 minutes. I'll be hanging out. Kamisaze, filter by 0.8, yes. So if you guys are able to download and get this Game Maker working, I can't point the right direction. There it is. If you're currently working, just go home. Just boot it up, filter 0.8, play some of the games. One of the ones that really looked fun to me was like a haunted experience somebody made. So I'm probably going to play that next chance I get. But right now we're working on some VFX. We were testing various different types of snow. So right now we have snow that falls across our entire level. It looks a little bit too fast. So this is definitely what I would akin to rain rather than snow. And so we were just playing with the settings. And we have like a slow falling snow here. It doesn't appear as though velocity was something we could choose. There was spawn rate, so I think spawn rate might be the velocity. So if we preview it again, the preview isn't exactly working every time, but all we had to do was make a little button system that we could interact with and try it in game. So with the spawn rate, it's you can actually see it a little bit, but it seems like that's actually too slow. So we're going to want to hopefully find a way to make not only more spawn particles. We don't want them too big. I think the best thing we could do here is for our game, I would probably do, instead of area scale 100, 100, 100, we do like 10, 10, 10. And then we would put this throughout our game. So like in every corner. For now, we'll just do it like, you know, a couple. Just surrounding us. And so now with a spawn rate of 20. So 100 we saw was kind of like falling like rain. But if we do spawn rate 20, and we have 3 of them active at the same time, it should hopefully look a little bit more like snow. And we want it to, you know, surround us. Kind of like a blizzard. It's not exactly connected, but I think you guys get the idea. Also, that didn't really do the scale. That didn't do the scale at all. So it seems like 10 was like maybe the default. Area scale 10 might be the default. So let's up it to like 30. And we'll try it again. So yeah, that's 30. Again, this snow feels a little bit too fast. So we're just adjusting that parameter until we get something more natural. We'll try maybe 5. That kind of feels like snow, right? How does the slide work? Yeah, the slide, you have to get into the zoomed camera run. I was having trouble toggling it myself. But as soon as, like, if you start running in slide, like, I think you're gonna crouch. But as soon as your camera zooms out, you're able to slide. See, like, if I'm just spamming C, it's gonna go into crouch. So it's like you have to start running for like a second or more. Oh, I see. So Paul is asking about on an asset. I see. Yo, Wake Up 69, welcome. Cosmo Dive, welcome. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Halfd0rk. We're just taking a look at the 0.8 stuff. Alex went through a lot of the core mechanics that you're going to find. It is wild, I agree. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and run this giveaway. By the way, if you win this, I'm sending you an oak staff made by Kamisaze himself. So, yeah, I guess good luck. Speaking of which, Mr. Space Bamboo, you got an oak staff. Wapox! You've done it again, Wapox! Congratulations. You know it. And yeah, Space Bamboo, I will send you a message. Make sure to get your address. I think Wapox, I have yours. So we're good there. Probably at the end of the stream, I'll do another giveaway. But yeah, Space Bamboo. Send me a whisper here on Twitch with your wallet address, and I will send you that oak staff. Which is currently valued at 45,000 channel points. You know, the rest of you can just save up. We've got memes on my channel.
No. No, I don't think I will.
No, I don't think I will. Alright, let's try some other visual effects, shall we? We did snow. It seemed as though slide was a question. I actually set up a little bit of a playing field here.
I do. I understood that reference.
I understood that reference. Thanks, Mr. Fierce. Cool. So let's see what this happens when we set slide. I think it was like a behavior, right? So we'll grab a carpet. The white carpet being the largest of the default carpets. So slide, was it a behavior or a component? I think it was a component then. Here it is. So in the multiplayer components, we can see here, it doesn't have any settings that we can adjust. But if I put it on the ground, we'll see what happens. And I walk over it. I'll even set up a few. Whee! Whee! Well, that was pretty self-explanatory. Okay, this is fun. This is gaming. Now all I need is for some sick beats to drop. Yeah, water slide. Exactly, Paul. That's a good use for it. Make water slide the game. That's real awesome. So, here's the fun part. Let's put it on assets that shouldn't be slidable. What's a non-slidable asset? Let's get like a dragon. Oh, this dragon might be too big. Sure, let's do it anyway. For science! Okay, well, I think the slide's working because I am stuck. But I'm, like, sliding on my belly. That was interesting. I like, clipped under it. And so it put me into prone mode. Like, I didn't do that. Also, his collision box is huge. So I can't even slide if I wanted to. Maybe if I spawn on top of him? Dragon riding! Dragon riding! Ah! Well, that was a bust. What happens if he's non-collidable, though? Can I still slide on the dragon? Doesn't seem like it. Alright, next test. Let's do something with a little bit more edges. So we're going to add sliding to this skull. Uh-oh. I can't get on the skull. Interesting. Huh. Well, I think it'd be fun to make this into like a parkour kind of map. Alright, how fast... Okay. How fast can I make a parkour map? And ideally, you're probably going to want to have carpets do the work for you. So each of the carpets are going to have that sliding effect. And they'll likely be hidden as well, but that's up to you. And of course, you can also, have your own custom assets. Likely having them flat is going to benefit the player most. As you saw, I tried edgy assets. Didn't really work out that well. We did also use an animated asset. Didn't really work that well either. Okay, so I'm gonna have to slide, and then I'll leave this one blank. We'll see what happens. Okay. So it looks like you're gonna need some momentum. And in order to get like the full benefit. But you're able to jump off of them. So like you can jump while sliding. But yeah, it does kill your momentum. So momentum is the real key with sliding here. Anyway, I think there's going to be some really fun games with that one. With the crouch and the prone behaviors, I do want to explore those. I don't think there's anything we can really do with that at the moment. But let's see if that is affected by any behaviors. So the first thing I'll do is I'll grab one of my interactable signs here. Panda Pops is going to be a predator. Don't tell her I said that. And we're going to have her toggle on. So she'll be initially off. Oh, I see you guys want to do more sliders. Okay. I'm over here trying to move on. Slide off the hood of a car. Ooh, that's a good one, Paul. Slide below a one block gap. That's also a good idea. Alright, let's do both of those in my impromptu parkour course. Okay. Okay, so we'll set up a obstacle here. So we should be able to slide under that, all things considered. But if not, we'll have a backup here. That might be too high. And so what we want to set up is we're going to keep that slide effect already like active. So the player basically approaches and they'll auto slide. Just so we can test it. But we're going to get some serious momentum here. So we'll like step up and maybe we'll have different slides here. All right. And so again, we're using these yellow carpets just to provide the slide effect. And of course, at the end of the parkour track, we're going to have the car hood to slide off of. And after that, we're going to work with crouching and see if we can do anything with that. We'll take the car. Do I have any other cars? I have a Lambro.
Ready to work.
Yo, Cosmo Dive following. Wake Up 69, thanks for the follow as well. BR Fabled, thank you. Mule Cow, thank you as well. Yeah, welcome in everybody. I usually stream in the early mornings, if you're a US of A. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But today, we're exploring 0.8. So any questions or, you know, things you want me to explore here on stream, happy to do so. Slide will be great downhill. Oh, 100%. 100%. Alright. Last thing I wanted to do was duplicate one of these carpets and hide it on top of our Lambro, so I can only slide across the top. That's the idea there. And we'll even put it on a slanted angle and hide it. We'll see if that works. Alright, so if we set it up correctly, we'll start sliding. Sliding. Alright, we didn't get enough momentum for that. This part, we slide under, no problem. And my carpet is currently inside the Lambro, so I'm not getting that slide effect. Okay. Easy to work with. So that means Lambro has to be lower than the carpet. We also want to invert this to where we're going downhill. Ideally, we would like it to begin at a slope, so it actually feels more natural. So you saw I was kind of like climbing upstairs in a way. So what we'll do is we'll let me, the avatar. Yeah, I'm the avatar, the last airbender. What of it? I bend farts. Let's, and then we'll have the white carpet. Can we change the post-processing in-game? Yes, you can, Paul. We'll take a look at that. It's pretty easy to do. It's just message-based. So now we're going to set up the slide to where it actually looks like we're sliding on an object. One thing I learned, even recently, Fred reminded, us in his own stream, is 32 degrees is like the maximum one way or the other that you want to slope for it to feel natural. And we can push that limit. But 32 degrees, that's the magic number for sandbox characters to IK, so inverse kinematics. I know I'm saying weird words right now, but they are understood by some of you. But that's the IK that sandbox characters follow. Is 32 degrees maximum. Otherwise, your character has to jump over something or step over it. Alright, let's see if we can get some sick air, bros. And goyles. Ideally, you'll want these assets, if they are overlapping, you'll at least want the second one to be a little bit lower. Otherwise, you'll probably clip. Moment of truth. Whee! Ooh. Alright, this doesn't feel right. The sliding over the hood of the car. I think it's because it's slanted. Why isn't it working? Take a look. It still has the slide effect. This might be collidable, and that's like causing it to struggle. And then we also wanted a little bit more momentum. We just kind of stopped getting momentum. So we'll push some of these back into place. And maybe this will help. Again, I'm not pushing the slide. So the slide is actually being provided through these assets. Which is helpful, sure. But you can also have puzzles where the character has to slide. So for example, I might need to slide on this last portion. Try it again. Whee! And I missed it. Let's go again! Let's go again! Okay, I tried spamming it. No luck. I think my timing, like, as a game dev, I would need to make this not so close. Because basically my character stands up and doesn't get that momentum. What I could do, though, is maybe I could have the slide continue. And it, like, ends right there. I wonder if that'll make me clip. Let's find out. Oh, it does make me clip. I'm parkouring! Look, Mom! Wet and slide. Can you slide on a travelator? What's a travelator? So yeah, if you're sliding, it has to go all the way into an asset. So now I'll end my sliding asset right here. Let's see if I get stuck. Okay, let's walk it out, I guess. Alright, hands off the keyboard. Okay, that didn't help. I got stuck on something. Hands back on the keyboard. Okay, it puts me into prone. Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's fun. What if my slide restarts right here? So maybe I exit the slide. Okay. It just puts you into prone. That's weird. Yeah, this carpet does not want me to slide on it. Again, I think momentum is the big takeaway here. You have to have some momentum. If you're just standing on it, you're not sliding. Okay. Yeah, you have to be moving a little bit. I'm lounging at the beach. Lounging at the beach. Lounging at the beach. But yeah, momentum's the key takeaway there. Cool. You gotta press forward. Yep, Game Dizzy's confirming. Puts in the prone. I sent you the wallet address. Oh, Spaceman Boo. And for anybody curious, if you want to try whispering, it looks a little something like this. And you can actually type it into any Twitch chat and it'll open it up for you. That's the best way to open a whisper. So you can do /w space name space message. So it looks something like this. I keep trying to type it and it's like, are you sure you want to do that? But Spaceman Boo, Twitter also works. Thank you. Cool. So let's take a look at post-processing because that's what Paul had asked. And I'm sorry if anybody else had suggestions on what to do. Feel free to repeat them. I'm happy to do so. Happy to give them a look through. Welcome in, Bert. Thanks, Halfd0rk. Halfd0rk. Temple Run. Yes, Paul. Temple Run, please. Also, the first thing I'm thinking of with a slide-based game, you need to make your asset, aka through VoxEdit, use a custom slide animation. I think saying that out loud gets some of you creators like your heads buzzing. Like, let's say Temple Run, for example. He doesn't have to be crouching. His crouch animation might have him sprinting. You follow? That might be fun to try. Anyway, let's go ahead and ditch our Snow. Bye, Snow. You were fun while you lasted. Genius, Paul. No, you. Or skateboard pops up, right? Game Dizzy's throwing out ideas. Let's go. I like that one too. Alright, so we're going to take a look at post-processing. Right now, I had it set to custom, but we're going to look at psychedelic. So, to turn it on and off, this is something I discovered, so I'm glad you asked, Paul. You have to change it back to neutral or default. Yeah, it's called default. So we're going to have interact 1, set it to psychedelic. We'll have interact 2, set it to black and white. Interact 3, we'll do vintage. And interact 4, we'll set it to default. So again, I just have to change this message here. .3. And this one's .2. So I believe these might stack. I guess we'll find out. Nope, they do not stack. There's my Snow. So post-processing does not stack. That is the big takeaway. And if you ever need to reset it, you have to use post-processing on default to reset it. And what's nice is you can take these presets or these pre-made versions and you're able to, go off of them. I think inside the custom effect. So we're taking a closer look at this one here. We can use vintage and we can go to custom. So we can't import vintage, can we? That would have been nice. But we can at least preview some of these. So right now it has a very dim effect. We can have like a cool eyeball-like effect. This could be used for like a submarine game. Let's say you're looking through a telescope and it's gonna make you appear as though you're staring at a horizon. Might be fun. What else do we have? We lens distortions. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. We can muddy it. Ooh, that's cool. Multiplier. So we can like shrink it. We can change the scale, the distortion. Yikes. That'll give somebody vomit in their mouth. I meant to say queasy. You know there's a word for vomit in your mouth. I think it's queasy. That's like a camera zoom. Yeah, it's definitely zooming. It looks kind of bad, but I think some of you will have some creative uses for it. There's no reset button. Oh, there's restore. But preview just kicks it back in. The boy. If I change this back to default and then back to custom, is it going to save my settings? Oh, it did save my settings. So I would need to delete the asset. But overall, you're probably not going to do that. I'm going to do it for now. And we'll start from scratch again. Essentially, you're going to want to make a profile on the custom. Then you'll save it as a preset, its own unique asset. Because it doesn't look like you can save profiles. So that's important. Sniper mode? Yeah, sniper mode's a good idea. Press play, game to Z. I already deleted it. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get queasy. So we have blooms. We can change up the bloom tint. The preview works just as fine. However, play mode, it'll definitely give us a different idea of what it does. We have a bloom threshold, so bumping this up. It looks like it's going to reduce a lot of the light or the glow, the emissions. New way to hint at where to go for quests. That's a great idea, Mr. Furious. Although, if we tried again, my main concern here would be with that zoom, how jarring it would be to move around. So let's go ahead and try that while we're thinking about it. So we had lens distortion, motion blur, grain, depth of field. I think it was the distortion scale we were tampering with. Or the multipliers. No? Oh, I think we have to adjust the intensity first. There we go. So let's try it out and play. So again, we're going around with our default. It didn't even change it. There we go. So it zooms in, still in third person. You know, this might be a workaround for going from third person to first person in your game. Let's try and fake that. We can try and fake that. The scale looks a little odd. We'll try 0.75 here. I mean, I got a fat head, but kind of works. But you can still zoom out. So first person, not so much. And it seems to really distort the world. This might be fun for like some sort of cinematic, I suppose. It's a little bit jarring. I mean, we could be here all night working on this stuff. Depth of field. Let's see what happens. We'll double both of these. And bring these back to defaults. So this is our depth of field. We can actually see the sky has become a little bit more blurry, which looks pretty cool. And we can start that closer. You could probably have like a, oops, I dropped my glasses moment. Depth of field radius. Like, how blurry can we make it? We probably do, like, motion blur. Let's try everything at 1. Oh, that's the grain. We don't need that. Lens distortion. Probably up it just a tad. It's definitely more noticeable on the zoom in. Kind of like a nice fog we got going on. Vignette, we'll probably put it at 5. I want that depth of field to like kick in. Can I do negative numbers? Like I want it to greatly affect me. Depth of field radius. Try 1,000. Depth of field end distance. 2,000. Is that gonna do anything? We'll try it in game. So, it doesn't seem to want to work until I reset it. Okay, the motion blur looks awesome. That'll look really good with our water slide. Prone. I like the chromatic a lot. The chromatic distortion looks really cool. That's when you see like the oh, okay, my eyes hurt. That's when you look at lights and you can see 3 different colors. So Little Legion org, and that goes for anybody else out there. I recommend installing this new game maker to a new folder right next to your old game maker. When you're ready, or you know, basically the community says everything works, reinstall it to the main. Yeah, definitely not playing that, says K. That actually like hurt my eyes. Yep, Maxi knows what's up. Maxi's a photography pro with the chromatic blur. Yeah, Space Bamboo, like Nautica and Mega Man style. I can definitely see Subnautica becoming a huge genre in the sandbox. Like, so swimming games in particular, I think are gonna really pop off. So holding down right control on my keyboard, I'm gonna fill this lake up a bit. And we're gonna go back into the Halfd0rk's eyes mode. Oh, we gotta turn on swimming. Swimming. Just as a reminder, it's global parameters, controller, scroll down, swimming enabled. How fast can we swim? Doesn't look like it's any of these. How fast can we slide? Also not one of the settings we can adjust. Auto jump height. What's 1? I'm not jumping any higher. Am I? Doesn't feel like it. Jump in the water! Boink! I'm so fast! Oh my god, speed swimming! I am tripping out! Ah! I'm so fast, I am built for speed. I can't help it. I was minted this way. Instead of I was born this way, I was minted this way. Sprint slide speed? Oh, that was a setting? Sprint slide speed? Oh, I already had it at max. Oh, or maybe not. Let's put it at 0.01. Because that is going to hurt me emotionally and physically. I mean, it's not really doing anything different. I mean... Emotional damage! So I'm on the slide, but I'm prone. I'm like swapping. Can I break it? Can I break it? Can I break it? Let's regret this. Cannot break it. Cannot break it. Alright, I'm going to try and jump while entering the prone dome. Okay, I can't break it. Well, it is Halfd0rk proof. The coyote jump still works? Ooh! Karatos, were you able to get in? Auto jump set to 2 will let you walk up 2-meter blocks. Squeeze me. Let's see, jump force. Auto jump. Oh, how high can you go? That high sounds like a bad idea. I'm going to save it and then do it anyway. What happens when you put slide assets in the water? Let's find out. That sounds fun. I saved it. Thank you, Little Legion. Activate water slide. I will slide directly into this wall. For my next trick,
Ready to work.
I will cause bodily harm to myself. Or not. I don't know. By sliding into the water and impacting a rock wall. Who will win? You decide. We might have to get like a land start here. Also, I might have an asset that's already long enough to do this. Let me check. Yes, I have my utility wall. Do I have any thinner? No, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I made this a while back. Basically to hide land. Essentially, here's what I made it for. You could bring it over to the side of your land. And then basically hang it over the side so people can't peek at what's below. And you would just line them up. Like that. But instead, we're turning it into a water slide because science. Need I say more? So we'll get a nice little run and start there. Add component. Synchronized slide. And we're off. I hate it. Let's go again. Wait, I can't slide back up? I can't reverse slide? These physics are too real. I want my fake fantasy physics. Okay. Well, time to speed swim over to the other thing. Hey, virtual Ted Lasso, what's up? Yeah, anticlimactic, very much so. So you can't... Oh, no, as soon as I hit that point where my body is fully submerged, it just stops. Yeah, that answers that. Can you slide upwards? Yep, Space Bamboo asking the real questions. I mean, everybody's asking real questions. What is the incline required? Like, if I'm going up, like even at the slight slant. It's all physics. It's momentum based. This could be a fun, obstacle. So you might have to like stop and slowly like jump your way up, maybe. Yeah, if you jump sideways, you can do that. Otherwise, physics does the work for you. But yeah, that could be a fun jump puzzle. Is if you had like slide mechanics and you had to jump from like ice cube to ice cube. When multiple slides descending, says Zavaski. Try one slide slightly higher. Does it stop you or like a speed hump? Could it throw you in the air? So one slightly higher. I think I see what you're saying. And what if I made them meet kind of like this? Now we're talking. That's what I like to slide. A little bit of zigzagging. It's like a half pipe. We know a couple creators that have skateboard assets. But multiple slides descending. I'll try that one next, Adzavaski. Swing and slide? Slide and swing? That might be fun. Sonic 2 bonus to... Ooh. I'm imagining like the Hot Wheels circle, like going upside down.
This person is a pro. Like, how much time did you spend here? This is crazy good.
So much all the time. I don't think we could do an upside down slide, just because we discovered how the physics work. Let's try what Adzavaski was saying, where they're kind of intersecting. And I'm also going to make another two where they're tilted inwards, just to see what happens. Okay, so these two... Oh, it looks like the intersecting... Can I, like, clip it? Oh, it seems to, like... Oh, it gives me a little speed boost there. That's interesting. So basically, I get this momentum from falling for a split frame. And it causes me to, like, fall... And yeah, I get a little speed boost. That might be interesting. That could be a great mechanic. My first thought that comes to mind is like Mario Kart. How you have those ramps that give you a boost. This could be a good way to get that momentum. If you already are using the slide mechanic. Because it gives you that immediate like velocity of falling. Alright, let's try this one. That also might be doing the same thing. I need to set this up to where I can like slide back and forth. Let's see here. We'll do just a quick little terraforming. I still also need to get back up if I get stuck. Okay. Try it again. It's that's just kind of glitchy. It's not really doing what I want it to. Okay. And then we can't really slide upwards either. Funny enough, my camera is doing the work here, and I am able to slide upward when it's like a funnel. And then that's causing me to slide back and forth. That just looks glitchy. My first thought, though, is like a half pipe, I think would be cool to use for that slide mechanic. You join the 3-up and still descended with a small raise. Still downward. Yeah, disgusting. Ski Speed Moguls. That's a great title. Patent it. Quick, add Zavaski. It's good acceleration for sure. Alright, I'm trying to scroll up. Can you float like the dead? Ooh. Blue Tulip. Yes. My first thought or response, Blue Tulip, is to use Vox Edit and make the swimming float. Or even the slide, you know, to where you're kind of floating on your back. So for example, I'm floating vertically. And you can just do like backpedaling, backstrokes You just swap out all the animations. There's probably an animation that they added recently. I don't know if I have any new characters here. I don't think they updated these default characters at all. No, these are all the basic animations. Maybe Adventure Panda Pops. Does she have swim animations? Swim, crawl, swim, death. Alright, let's see what happens when Panda swim deaths. So we can use that animation. Based on the pivot point, I believe it's going to be on the ground. Oh! That scared the hell out of me. Dude's just chilling. Panda, swim die! Looks like animated decorations are no longer instantaneous. Animated decorations are all timeline based. So you do have to have a... Well, I had play on start. What the? What the? What the what? We'll do play on received message. Message to start it is going to be our interact dot 4. And I'll just take one of the signs we've made. And we can watch Panda swim die in real time. Ah! So scary. Nope, still not working. Let's take a look. So, animation, swim death, 01, infinite loop, true. Play on received message, interact.4. This would trigger a new message when she does the animation. So I'm not quite sure why this animated decoration is not working. Could be the asset. Maybe swim die is just a template for this character. Too much voxelite? It could be. She should have it. Yeah, I imagine so. There it is. So I turned on the loop. Hey, Addictive W, what's up, dude? Oh, bye. See you, dude. Hi, bye. Maybe it's because she was above the water? Unlikely. Okay, now she's fine. Maybe it's the loop. So we'll turn off the infinite loop. Interesting. So, for whatever reason, infinite loop is the only way for animations to work. That's not intended. Let's try Andy Ritchie here. And we'll throw, this time, the synchronized animation decoration. And we will make Andy agree. So Andy is going to agree when the player sends out interact.4, which we saw was my sign. And right now, we're keeping infinite loop set to false. Okay. We found a bug, everybody! Yay! Bugs! We gotta squash them. So, loop has to be toggled for animation decorations to work. Yay, bugs. Make it play count 1? Okay, Game Dizzy, good thought. Let's try it. So, Game Dizzy might have the solution here. Inside animations, element 1. I set it to multiplayer. We have infinite loop. Turn that off. Play count 0. Play count 1. That might have been the solution. Game Dizzy, thank you. Yep, now he does it. So, yeah, I take it back. It's not a bug. We unsquashed the bug. Game Dizzy had the solution. It's because there is a new setting, play count. that needs to be reset to 1. So it starts as 0, which is kind of a odd default setting. So yeah, play count 1. Just make sure that is set to 1 or higher, which is pretty handy if you think about it, because you could make him interact in certain ways. Just as kind of like a potential example, maybe there's some dialogue. So we'll have a brief dialogue with Andy here. We'll do, again, synchronized asker behavior right here. And this message required, it's going to be the same interact.4. Asker behaviors have been finicky. Basically, if you're clicking the next page, so we'll likely see it with my setup, by clicking the next page, if it is, interact based, it's going to repeat it unless you have messages that, change the page. All right, so let's just see what happens with just this. Andy Ritchie. And then he's also going to have a new animation play. So he, instead of agree with me, will congratulate me once. Or no, we'll try twice. See what happens. And that's going to be on receive message. Message to play will be interact.5. And so interact.5 is going to be when we respond to his message. So Andy's going to say, I'm loving 0.8. How about you? Alright, so that should appear the same time we touch this, which it does. Cool. So it looks like the asker behavior works, although it didn't play his congratulate animation. Let's take a look at that. So it plays it. Maybe I have to time it better. So we're going to wait for his animation to finish. It is done. Now it plays. So you can't spam through it. Alright, good to know. So that's important, I would say, for cinematic events. Alright, what else do we want to test? No more spawning and respawning, killing those different animations. Hell yes. That was like the most tedious thing of previous versions. In fact, I had a whole mechanic based on that, but now I don't have to. It'll all be on one asset. See Kit and Ash for anything more. Let's say here. I think we're going to play more with the VFX. I like it. So if you weren't here when we were touching these, post-processing effects, you can turn on and off using the post-processing effects. So you basically change it back to default. So there's multiple profiles. So for example, toggling this drop down, you can make your own via custom, which there's a ton of settings. We were trying out the fish eyes and the lens distortions. Or you could use the preset ones. We had psychedelic, black and white, vintage, and grunge. But yeah, you'll have to set it back to default using post-processing effects if you're cycling between them. All of the post-processing effects do not stack. They basically swap between different ones. I'm fast. I'm so fast. I'm normal speed. The snow looks better. But let's try some new effects, shall we? Can you fade in the weather effects? Yeah, let's try it. So weather has its own behavior as well. So let's add a new logic asset, and we can use these this time. These are supplied in 0.8, and they look great. I've always recommended making your own, but Game Maker has now given us logic assets that will never be seen. You can't actually make these visible for the player. You, as the creator, can toggle it on, and you can see the asset. But watch as I exit and re-enter. It's gone again. And so what that means is, even though I, as the game designer, the game maker, made it visible even just once, the second we publish it, it just resets back to that invisibility. But anyway, what we'll do is we're going to try weather effects now. Same thing as the post-processing. It does not stack. So you're basically replacing one weather effect with another. As for fading, I don't think we can fade, but we're going to try. We'll see if we can make that setting. Let's go into the logic, and we'll do message to switch weather. We've already set up all of our buttons. We'll do interact 1. This will be interact 2. And interact 3. So the first one is going to be our neutral. So we'll just keep that one neutral. Second one, let's check out the logic. So we have a message to switch weather. If we have it set to false, it'll immediately start on a specific weather. We can see here we have custom weathers, but there's also desert, neutral, night, noon intense, which is just like an extra bloom. And then sunrise, overcast, and custom. So let's try noon intense. And I think a great fade might be having that noon and then noon intense. So that's like a fake fade, and bearing that in mind, we could use custom assets to create that fade. So we can have, perhaps our sunrise, and then we make in custom a, early sunrise, and perhaps even like a almost sunrise. And so you fake the fade. Magic donut. Yeah, magic donut. I wouldn't eat that though. That seems to be made of plastic. And Adzavosky, thank you for hanging out. Hope you have a nice day, evening. You can fade, you just have to use arguments. Yellow message. Send to tags related to whatever you want. Yellow messages are called arguments. You say yellow message. Do you mean message broadcasters? And send to tags related to the weather you want. So I think the question was fading the weather. So I'm thinking like, the sun going from noon to night, and we see the gradual fade. But let's try it. I'm over here talking about it, and I haven't tried it yet. So let's go from noon intense to night, and we can see how that looks. So right now it's on noon intense. We can shift. So this is what I was mentioning. It's like a cut. It's not a fade. But we can fake it. Yeah, this is a cut. The messages scroll through. Good day, Rufu. How are you, my friend? Welcome in. Rufu, the asker behavior. Oh, God. Alex wants to describe it in detail. You have to use arguments. So let's see what Alex has to say. I will hop into the council if you want. Be easier. So Alex is going to walk me through this. Show me what he's thinking.
Hey, let me mute the stream. It's pretty heavily delayed.
Oh, dang. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Welcome.
Oh?
Welcome? Hello?
I can't hear you.
Oh, no. He can't hear me. One sec. I know why.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Okay.
Perfect.
So the stream's pretty heavily delayed. So if you click on the message under wait for message, you'll see some that are yellow.
Okay.
And those are called arguments, and they are messages that let you define a variable.
I see. Can we make those?
Nope. They're preset.
Specific?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's some for audio, there's some for video, there's post-processing, and weather. And now you can add underneath it.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's supposed to.
feed.
It worked for me.
Is it supposed to pop
It's
something
supposed
else
to add
up?
yeah, there's supposed to be a little number field that appears underneath it.
Oh,
Maybe try exiting logic.
okay. I'm not... I think I understand what you're saying, but yeah, it's not showing up.
That's weird. I did it on stream. Are you in the same 0.8?
Yeah, this is the newest. I just downloaded the new one.
What the heck?
Restore, night, maybe change some settings, change messages. I'm in multiplayer synchronized. That also might be why. So
That's the only way that weather works.
that's the only one. Rip.
Let me open 0.8 up again. I've got 0.7 currently running, so one second.
Yeah, there wouldn't be anywhere else to customize that, huh?
I did it right before I rated you.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's video evidence.
I'll try a different asset. No, it still isn't showing up.
I did it on a logic. That's
Did it
actually
on a
how they
Logic?
recommend doing the weather. So,
Okay.
One second.
No problem.
While I get logged back into the council account.
I do like the idea of fading.
It
I
works.
described
It's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It changes the time. You can watch the sunset and the moonrise. They showed it on the trailer too. Let me get in here.
I could try restarting. Easy way to crash my game maker is to just exit to the main menu.
Yeah, it happened to me while I was on stream too.
So it might just take a restart too. Yay, we crashed. Wait, no, we didn't crash. Ooh.
Oh.
I do want to hop into my space game and work on that a little, but I gotta make sure this weather stuff works.
Yeah. No, it does if the setting shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird why it's not. Okay. Let me open up this experience.
No,
All
still
right.
not.
So the way I did it was with a logic asset. I put down a logic asset and then I told it to have oh wait, are you doing it from okay, it's not the weather switcher that you do. That's why it's not working.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
that's what it's receiving. You want to receive that. So the way you switch it is with the thing sending the message. That's why it's not working. So go to were you using an asker to send it?
Yes. So that needs to be sending. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So go to your asker, change that to
Weather fade.
Yeah. The message.
Yeah,
to
that made
weather
it.
fade.
That made it appear.
There you go. And then you can set any time you want in seconds. So like you can set it to like 10 seconds. It'll be really fast. You could set it to be
Okay.
like a few hours if you wanted a day cycle. And then just look up at the sky.
Well, I think I made the number too high. I went for 80.
That means it would take about a minute and a half to
Yeah.
change. So
All right, we're gonna
changing to,
try
like, 10.
2 seconds.
And make sure that it's sending to the right tags. Oh,
Okay, we've got light, and the opposite, dark. We've got dark.
There you go.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Alex.
Yeah, so I didn't test this out on my stream. I haven't tested it out at all yet. But the problem with this argument is that it's a single message, right? So if you wanted to have multiple different kinds of weather changing, it uses the same argument message, but you might want to send it to different tags. So you would set your weather, all your weather presets to have like, you know, weather sunny, weather whatever. And then you can have, when you go to that asker behavior, have it send two specific messages or two specific tags. So it sends that argument to whichever is appropriate.
Yeah,
to make the transition.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let's see. So I guess the one thing that I'll be playing with is the weather fade is the only message that can do this, though. Or I suppose any of the other yellow ones.
I haven't. The other ones might work.
Okay.
You could try it.
I'll test that, yeah. Because I guess that's a workaround for the tags, but I mean, the tags does just what you want to.
The thing is, you might want to use those other arguments for other things, like sound transitions. The main point of those arguments is to send a transition variable along with the message. So they use it for fading audio in and out, for transitioning from one video to another. Or I guess it's play, stop, and start the video.
Right.
And transitioning other sorts of effects. So like the post-processing effect of like tripping out, you could have it start slowly. And I suppose you could end it before it gets too far. Because you notice that it's pretty intense and it's just like on off. But if you fade into it and then start fading out and then start fading back in before it finishes those transitions, you might be able to like lock it into an in-between phase.
Interesting. I see what you're saying.
Have
again,
you tried that? Theorizing. I have not tried any of this. I have just started messing around with this stuff about 3 hours in today's stream.
Okay, great.
We spent so much time in the change log. So I've only have about 2 hours in 0.8 so far.
Speaking of changelog, is that public? Are we able to share that?
Not yet. The changelog that we were looking at, it wasn't really a changelog so much of a list of things, like kind of like a changelog, but it addressed other stuff too. That's only for sandbox email addresses. But Becky Litoff is working hard with Chris, I can't remember his last name, to update the Git book, and so keep an eye on the Git book. Those updates should be coming in the next week or so. Okay. Probably there will be multiple updates, because they're probably going to try to release these things as soon as possible, because we were all kind of a little surprised. it was like a super secret present that just like popped onto our desks this morning, and we're all super excited for it, but we also are like, we're not ready to like explain this stuff because we don't know ourselves yet how it works. But
yeah, a lot of surprises all around, but fantastic. Like, this has been a good day for the community. I think everybody was anxiously awaiting this.
Yeah. When people are asking me how soon, I'm like, it's like very soon TM. And then bam, it's there, and I didn't even know it was coming today. So it was just like, it was sooner than I knew. But yeah, I would try those arguments with other types, see if those work. Did you do that already? I see you're doing.
Yeah, I'm currently setting up the tags to where we're using the same message. So weather fade. I'm doing a 2-second interval for each, and each sign that I'm interacting with is sending weather fade, but to different tags. So right now it should, as you mentioned, it might be able to go between the two. We could get it stuck, but I don't think it. Oh, the sun's going like up and down in the same spot, so it's not like a complete like full rotation of the sun.
Yeah, because it's doing a linear it's doing a linear interpolation from 0 to 1.
Right.
Between, so 0.7 to 0.3 instead of all the way through. We should really set up that argument to work in a clockwise motion.
That would be nice to have a full rotation.
You could set up like using, because we've got the timer behavior now, you could match the timer to those arguments, so that way it goes, if you're at a high value, it goes to the max and then back to 0 and loops. But it would be a manual process. But I mean, the tools to do that process are a lot simpler now that we have timers.
I'm gonna try some weird stuff.
Have you messed with the custom weather yet?
Yeah, I kind of like tinkered around with it. But...
we were having fun making like a black sun and like transitioning to like rainbow colored skies and super foggy and stuff. People got really excited knowing that you could turn fog all the way off.
Ready to work.
Oh yeah, the fog and just removing that kind of depth of field, or I guess layered. You couldn't see too far.
The depth fog, yeah.
Yeah, the depth fog. Cool. So right now I'm trying a destroy or a health component that will cause kind of like a 3-way to go on in the weather. A menage a trois of weathering.
Are you transitioning to 2 weathers at the same time?
So basically, how I want it to work, it doesn't... Oh, I set it up poorly. Basically, I have a health component that's going to be destroyed the same time I hit the button. That will then tell the desert to activate. And so it's going to send the same message. So it's acting as though like it's a intermediate. So we'll see if this works.
Oh, so you go all the way through past the limit, back around to 0.
Also, it doesn't look like the health gets the fade. So I put in the yellow message into the message sent on death, so that doesn't seem to get the fade.
Hodl's trying real hard to hold back right now.
Understandably so. But that's I guess important to note. What other messages? Maybe a detect entity? That'll still probably have the fade.
Yeah, that's how I wasn't even using a
button
or a message. I was using it to. The idea was I'd walk into a cave and it would get dark.
Okay.
So yeah, I think so one of the issues that we noted on my stream was that because this is a multiplayer feature, it does change the weather for everybody. So if you walk into a spooky graveyard and it gets all cloudy and dark, that's happening to everybody on the map, no matter what they're doing at that moment.
Right.
So it is kind of you want to be aware of that, and there will probably be changes in the future that make that a little more sensible to be like, oh, I'm changing the lighting in this part of the environment. Like regional effects or make it just local to the player. But for the moment, it does affect everybody on the map. So you kind of maybe want these weather effects to be kind of story tied in a way that affects more people.
I can imagine some use cases that might be beneficial. Let's say you're a DJ in a social hub and you're doing some mood lighting. Like you can have like a button to push.
Yeah, that's actually like the main use case for this now, right? Because we're like getting ready for Snoop Dogg season. So the idea is that we affect all the players at once. But then as we go back into like storytelling, obviously these multiplayer behaviors work in single player. So if you're making a single player game and you're affecting just the single player that's in your game, that's fine. But if you want to make that kind of storytelling in a multiplayer area, it is something just to be aware of, that one player touches the idol, now everybody's being judged by the gods or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
You might not want to use it for like smaller like scene transition kind of things.
And just to confirm, we can't publish social hubs yet.
You absolutely can.
Oh, okay.
I have people sitting in one that I made during stream in about 5 minutes.
And so I was looking at the publish option, so I'm assuming. Oh, okay. There's a social little button there. That's awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic.
That's it. You just turn on multiplayer.
Yay.
Ikion's still in there right now.
Let's go. Yep, Ikion's confirmed. Yep. Awesome. So anybody can make social hubs.
Yep. And test them out. And we do highly recommend, if you're making any sort of social thing, you've got to test it from the gallery. Like, you can test this stuff in the playtest mode, but single player stuff is still going to work for you as you're in the editor. So you have to go over to the gallery to see if everything is still working the way you expect it to in multiplayer. Because there is a difference between the way things work in the gallery multiplayer and single player test mode.
Okay. I don't know if you can tell what I'm trying to do right now. Basically, I'm using an asset spawner to do the detection and basically have a timed fade that kind of interrupts the previous fade. That's what I'm hoping for. So this one, I just need the correct tags, and it should communicate properly. And then the detection message will tell the desert to activate. So hopefully it'll work now.
Yes, if you make a single player land, it can use multiplayer features. The multiplayer thing is more just that it's multiplayer compatible. So if it's ready to work, the multiplayer label is not as important as the single player label. The single player label means that it will only work in single player. Whereas multiplayer will work either way. And then single player items and multiplayer items will not talk to each other. So if you use a single player message broadcaster, I don't know if there is a single player message broadcaster, but I imagine there is. It will not send a message to a multiplayer.
There is in fact one. Just confirm.
Behavior. Yeah. So if you obviously, take it all with a grain of salt. There can be bugs. There can be things that work that I'm thinking won't work. But what I've been told is that a single player message broadcaster will not transmit messages to multiplayer behaviors.
Okay.
So you need whatever the case is, you need the multiplayer stuff to send messages to multiplayer stuff.
Okay. So that leads me to a follow-up question. If we were, say, making a social hub and we had a couple assets that maybe went under the radar that did have single player components and behaviors, would that cause a problem? As in, like, we couldn't publish it, for example, or maybe it just broke.
I'm real happy to be here.
I'm trying to remember. There was a note on that change log, if you will. It's not really a change log, but that documentation that said something along the lines of there's no warning that things won't work.
Okay.
So you could publish it, and then they just wouldn't do anything. Most likely, they could crash the game. They could make some sort of bug. They could also potentially just not have any effect at all. Or if it did, if you use single player items in a multiplayer space, it will only it will only work for your local client. So I think we did actually discuss this in the stream when Becky was there. So if you can put single player elements in a multiplayer hub, but they don't do anything to the multiplayer. This is the way 0.7 social hubs work for quests, because multiplayer won't actually send anything to quests right now.
Okay.
So you can't use a multiplayer message broadcaster to start a quest. You can only use a single player message broadcaster to start a quest.
Okay, that's good to know.
Which is that's why we have the social events or event collab or whatever it's called
Mhm.
as the multiplayer. That's basically the multiplayer version of quests right now.
Well, I got the desert working and it communicates. However, it does not get interrupted. So like the slower one, whatever initiated first, if it's slower, it won't get interrupted. To confirm that.
Does it skip the third command entirely?
Yes, it basically never registers.
It's like, let me finish.
Yep. And I did test it to make sure the message was working, and unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was curious too. I thought it was cool. Dilectronics is making it rain in my chat right now. So thank you, Dilectronics.
The thing, speaking of rain, the thing that I didn't show on my stream at all was the VFX. And I know that you've been playing around with that.
Yes. I've had a lot of fun with it.
So I don't know if you want to show them some like Super Mario Rainbow invincibility running around, or torches or anything like that. But
they don't want to see that. I don't think they want to see that.
Nah, just 100 VFX. Who knows? Nobody cares.
Right now
Whatever.
my camera's bugging. Goodbye, land.
Oh no. Whoa.
It just wants to keep going the wrong direction. I don't know if it's my keyboard. Sometimes I have to act like my cat and just slam everything.
All right. Well, I got to go get a kiddo ready for bed, but I'm so pumped. I'm about ready to try going against the rules and ignoring the warnings not to open old experiences. I'm thinking maybe Halloween Town, but not Halloween Town. That's a movie. Spooksville 2020.
Ooh.
Maybe
okay.
We're gonna see Spooksville 2023 Valentine's edition or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sign me up. I'd be happy to get into that one.
I mean, I'm just gonna try opening it and see, if I can. If it doesn't work, it's so old. I'm okay with losing it. But I've got like that old foggy maze underneath for people to run around. I'm like, what if I change it up? And now people can wear their equipment in social hubs and choose what their dances are going to be and everything. So like, you can totally have costume parties if you want to now. So
that's a great idea. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh man, the sky's the limit. There's really so many possibilities.
I'm wondering like what can't be done now, and there are some specific things, right? Like, okay, obviously you just found you can't interrupt a weather transition to make another weather transition. Like, oh well. Like,
yeah, or just time it. Yeah.
There's certainly like a lot of things that we can't quite do yet, but so many things just got opened up. It's ridiculous. This is equivalent to like presets, but even more. Like, good grief. Anyway, okay. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for letting me pop in and
thank you
and explain some stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great to know. See you, Alex. Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Well, ready to work. I had to leave my my game there. I could not edit it for the life of me. But I do, before I leave, because we are leaving soon. This is the show is going to be wrapping up soon here. So thank you everybody for watching. Dilectronics, thanks for being a Chad. Dilectronics over here dropping like how many subs just now? I can't even count that high. It's above a lot. It's above a lot right now. So thank you, Dilectronics.
Oh my god.
I will never financially recover from this. So thank you so much. Rufu, you can thank, instead of whoever, thank Dilectronics. So thank you very much. Ready to work. But yeah, as Alex was saying, VFX was one of the things I was tinkering with quite a bit. So I'm going to delete all of our weather. We were just testing, some possibilities. And what we'll do is we'll explore some weather, some VFX before we go. So again, using the logic assets. I'm also going to make a pickable asset that has a VFX on it. So that's the first thing I'll show you because I think you'll like this one the most. Then the rest you'll be like, eh. But it's going to have a pickable component and a rarity VFX. It does need to have the same synchronized effect.
And the seagull goes mine, 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 and the seagull goes mine, 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 mine.
Thank you.
Ain't no party like a panda pop's party, like a panda pop's party. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. So, there is a trail rainbow effect that can be immediately on, so it's enabled at start, and I've attached it to a pickable component. Let's see what happens.
Ready to work.
Pick it up, and it's in what? What the heck? That did not what I wanted it to do. Instead, it turned it into a ghost. What the heck? Not quite sure what happened there. I'm going to add some size and scale to it. And then maybe we'll have a message turn on as well. Because it did not... It, in fact, did something completely opposite. There it goes. Check it out. Rainbow Trail. On a pickable asset. Huh, I wonder what types of games you can make with this. Whee! We tried adding it to a weapon. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on weapons. Evil! What's that? Is that King? King is like, sign me up! King Crypto says. So, this is visual VFX with a pickable component. And I just did a trail. So there's actually a couple trails. We can do a weed trail. And then I had to change the VFX assets in there. Okay, Electronics, seriously, that's enough.
No. No, I don't think I will.
No, I don't think I will. But thank you, Electronics. I appreciate the support. Very much so. So, again, all we did was we added a trail effect with a pickable component. So the trail effects, by default, they're kind of looping effects. And we can generally add VFX attributes. It looks like the weed doesn't have any effects. However, I have an idea that we'll try. We'll do trail fire this time, and we'll do texture movement speed. We can see what that effect might do. We'll do 10. And the preview isn't going to do anything for us. I think I can move it around. Oh yeah, you can test it by moving it around. So the preview does work. That looks awesome. And if I pick it up, the pickable component should work. Just, I think sometimes it just doesn't? Question mark? Oh, I had to turn it on, that's why. There you go. Okay, sometimes it just doesn't work. Fred also mentioned that. Whee! But that looks awesome. And of course, by picking that up, we can put it behind us. So we can do pickable component, grab offset. We'll do negative 0.5. We're aiming for coming out of our heels and or butt. Negative 1. Electronics subbing for a tier 3. Electronics, thank you so much, dude. Yeah, you can make some cool magic attacks for sure, Space Bamboo. Arctic Mosaic, welcome. Notice you have to hit the toggle on-off before tab. Ooh. Toggle on-off. Sometimes, yeah, it's a little bit finicky. Usually, it works out of the box. Sometimes the preview... I think the preview actually might be what's breaking it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We'll try Interact 4, then touching it again. So yeah, I think Arctic Mosaic, that's exactly what I think you were talking about. So I had preview on. I'll need to stop the preview. And that's going to make it, do the thing. It's doing the thing! My feet are on fire! Hot, 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 hot. Hot, 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 hot. But yeah, just one last VFX I'll show you for now, because I gotta get going. 8 o'clock was my cutoff time. But the last thing we're gonna check out is an explosion effect. So let's take a look. That's gonna be you. My favorite is the, I think there's like an electrical shock. Shock? Explosion? Ooh, voxel explosion. Let's see what that looks like. So we can test it like that. That looks fantastic. And we can really adjust it. There was one in particular that I was having a lot of fun with. Oh yeah, blam blam looks hilarious. Blam blam. It actually like writes the words out. Maybe one day we can have our own words. That I can already see as being a problem. Collectible legendary. That'll be cool. There's a lot of feedback like effects here. We've got flying lantern. I don't think I've looked at this one. Oh, that's cool. Kind of like maybe some evil spirits, or perhaps like a funeral pyre, something like that. Thanks for the bits, guys. And Dill Electronics, thank you so much for all those gifted subs. You really did not have to, and I greatly appreciate it, so thank you. Last thing is, I just want to remind you all that you can change the VFX attributes to all these. So again, just taking a look at the lantern, we can adjust the color. Let's say you want a green lantern. It should be RGB. So now I have a green lantern, and it's this cool, spooky, like, ghost flying upwards.
Now I can use text-to-speech. Booyah.
Booyah! Let's go, Halfd0rk. We can adjust the scale. So all of these effects compile into your next big game. I think you're all really going to take 0.8 and make some really cool stuff. It's honestly so exciting. I didn't think you guys would get this as soon as you did, to be honest. I thought they were still testing things. Hey, nice Dizzy. It looks very cool, I agree. We'll speed up. We can try different settings here. Like, look, we have giant, like, ghost-like entities. And generally, if you wanted that to, like, deal damage to somebody, which, by the way, let's see if I can rotate this. Nope, it's still gonna aim that direction.
Ready to work.
I'm on fire!
Ready to work.
Thanks for the cheers, guys. Much appreciated. Don't worry, I muted it.
Ready to work.
Wait, it's still playing. Crap. I thought I was so smooth.
Ready to work.
Nope, you can't do that. I can mute it. Boom.
Thank you, Daddy Electronics.
Can't mute that though. So right now my lantern is not moving in game. We discovered, again,
Hello,
this is important to
Halfd0rk.
note.
This is your Uber driver.
Thanks for
I am outside your house waiting for you.
you're
Today's
not.
trip will be $39 and cover your trip from your nose to your hairline roof you snag.
Okay. But yeah, if you wanted to play in-game, you do have to stop the animation from the preview.
Jingle bell, jingle all
Jingle,
the way.
jingle, jingle, jingle. Yep, I already regret text-to-speak.
Halfd0rk is the orc master.
We're ending the stream now, but I promised a giveaway. So the giveaway, code word, is going to be up on
so
screen.
Awesome.
It is awesome. Code word's up on screen. You can see it. It's hidden somewhere. Why are you guys typing giveaway? I told you it's on stream. Code word. Make sure you type it in. I'm giving away an oak staff. Oak staffs are made by Kamisaze, the CEO of the council, my boss, my friend, and my wizard. Is that weird to say?
Thank you, Master.
Okay, thanks, Vvox. Thanks for the bits. Much appreciated. So, everybody, thanks again for watching. This is going to be the end of our stream.
Let me give you a
If anybody else is streaming,
I do. I understood that reference.
I understood that reference. I think it's just me.
Nick
No, we got
Daddy
others.
Halfd0rk.
Yeah! We're heading over to Puzzle Bros. They're a bunch of bros that make puzzles.
Thanks for the stream.
Thank you all.
Let me give you a hug.
Oh, sorry, the electronics. I already punched it in.
I love lamp.
Check it out, though. Ignite or VR.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Bye 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 bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
The Umbri.
Umbri.
Danke, danke.
Let me give you a hug.
Have a great evening, everybody. I'll see you next time. And yeah, have fun in 0.8. I will be picking this up
Let me give you a hug.
all next week. Skadootion, 8
Bye bye
a.m.
NFTs
to 10
in the
a.m.
wall.
Bye bye.
Let me give you a hug.
Let's go.
Later. See you.
See you later. Okay, bye. Thanks again to Electronics.
Hi there. Hey there. I'm a happy little penguin V.
All right, peace.